Hey y'all. So I wanted to get on here and talk about where in the Bible it in Revelation Jesus makes a statement towards lukewarm Christians, and that we should strive to have either a hot or a cold faith, and try our best to avoid being lukewarm lest he spew us out of his mouth. And so, what he really means by hot or cold faith is that a person with hot faith is going to be more loud, expressive, passionate, on fire for Christ, right? And a person with cold faith is going to be more peaceful, calming, comforting. When you're around them, it feels like nothing can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like everything feels like everything's going to be all right type of vibes, right? And the reason why I wanted to expand about that is because of hot and cold faith both have their own disadvantages as far as how the devil tries to attack you, right? And so a person with hot faith, they're more so going to try to twist your faith and take that same fire that you have inside you and try to use it to burn out other people with your faith, right? And you'll see this in Christians who try to force Christianity down people's throats, who tries to they take their passion and they try to push it on you and push it on you and push it on you. And that's why it's a trick of the devil for people of the faith or Christians to try to convince you that you have to have fire for Christ. You have to be this passionate believer. You have to chase this fire. Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said to be hot or cold. He does not say that you have to be a hot faith. You know what I'm saying? And that's a trick because not everybody has life experiences or the ability to use a hot faith the same way how somebody was built that rather than somebody who has built that, right? And so what I mean by that is that uh different faith works for different situations. A person with hot faith might be like a street preacher, but a person with cold faith might be like a counselor, right? And so they have their own they have places where their faith works best for that place, right? Kind of like in Demon Slayer when Rengoku was on that train yelling and screaming, he looked very out of place because his fire was burning so bright in a place where you're really supposed to be calm and peaceful, right? So that's an example. And the thing is that when it comes to having a hot faith, something that you need to practice is your ability to withdraw. Don't force religion and scripture and all these things down people's throats and burn people with your passions. You have to be patient and understand that even Jesus said, "Those who hear will hear, and those who see will see. Those who have ears will hear, those who have eyes will see." You're not going to be able to convince everybody. You're not going to be able to give the truth to everybody because they have to accept it of their own free will. So, people with a hot faith need to practice their ability that they need to quell their fire and withdraw so that they don't risk either pushing people away from Christ or burning themselves out and withdrawing from Christ himself or withdrawing from Christ themselves. A person with a person who has cold faith needs to be careful of not letting the weight of the world drive them into pure isolation. So so a person with cold faith has no problem with withdrawing and just leaving the conversation where it is. The problem with cold faith is that they're too easily or comfortable withdrawing and they don't try hard enough. They don't try hard enough, or they're more likely to isolate themselves and say, I ain't going to just deal with this no more. I'ma just, man, whatever. And these are people that will probably write it off as being logical. People of a cold face tend to be very, very logical, right? And so they say, well, this is not, well, this is pointless. This is pointless, man. I ain't going to deal with these people no more because they don't believe, and they don't they don't sit there and they ain't even going to read it for themselves. Da, 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 da. You have to exercise the same patience and understanding that you exercise with yourself. You have to exercise with other people. That's why Jesus calls us to love others as we love ourselves. We're supposed to give them the same grace and mercy that we give ourselves every single day. So yeah, that's definitely a trick where a person with a hot face, the devil tries to push them towards wrath, like towards wrath and or tries to push them out from people and tries to push them into the clubs, trying to push them into secular places where it's like, okay, well, if I can't make you angry and hurt people with your faith, then I'ma just go the other way around and try to just get you to just, okay, well, you can have your faith, but go to clubs, go to bars, go to places where people won't even listen to your faith, and then they'll break it down, and then that'll break you down to where you don't want to believe or talk about it no more. And then, like I said, with a person with cold faith, they'll try to push you into isolation by yourself, so you try to protect your peace. And these are people that are more pushed towards suicide or drugs. They try to get you into a pace where, rather than trying to find your peace in God and your ability to, and tries to extend your ability to suffer for long periods of time and endure suffering, they want you to run away from that suffering and run away into isolation. So that when people come, so while the world is in fear and paranoia and they're going through everything that they're going through, you're just in your little shack protecting yourself. So those are things that you really need to be careful about. Those are things that you really need to be careful about. Don't let the world and the problems of society steer you away, because because God knows you and you know yourself better than anybody else will. So you'll know whether or not a hot faith would work for you or a cold faith. You would know better. But the best thing you can do is try to learn from both. That's why we're called to gather around believers, so that if I have a cold faith, a person with a hot faith can teach me and show me how to express myself better, and not be so and not isolate myself. Whereas a person with hot faith, a person with cold faith can teach you how to withdraw, how to hold on to your peace, how to not sit there and replay the argument or the conversation in your head all the time, because you just knew you was right, and that's what I'm talking about. So if you have any comments in the section, throw them in there. If you have, follow me for more content and share this to anybody that you think could elaborate on it or had a different perspective. And I'm out.